It's Wednesday, February 19th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Ideas from Republican lawmakers in the 89th legislature that might seem like okay ideas at first glance, but fall apart upon closer scrutiny. For example, a new bill from Ultra-MAGA Senator Brandon Creighton appears at first to fulfill a long-standing goal of progressive lawmakers, that is, substantial pay raises for teachers. Jaden Edison at the Texas Tribune says Creighton's SB 26 would establish yearly pay raises for teachers with at least 3 years of experience, with additional increases for instructors who teach for at least 5 years, leaning towards bigger raises for teachers in smaller districts, basing raises on student performance, and adding the kids of teachers to the list of those who qualify for free pre-K services from the state. So, some progress. But baby steps really, and a drop in the bucket for a state where our teaching situation is so bad that educators have been ditching the profession in droves for years, frequently before these 3- and 5-year benchmarks, and Texas has become reliant on instructors who lack formal classroom training to keep our schools going. Texas State Teachers Association spokesperson Clay Robinson says, quote, "Let's quit talking about pulling out a few select teachers for extra pay, because every student deserves a well-paid teacher and every teacher deserves to be well-paid," unquote. Governor Greg Abbott has declared raises for Texas teachers to what he calls an all-time high, an emergency item. This ledge, the Creighton bill hardly approaches that lofty goal. Meanwhile, tech bro culture is certainly present at the Capitol. GOP Senator Charles Schwertner wants to create a Texas strategic Bitcoin reserve. Kevin Baskin at KXAN in Austin quotes the senator, who says cryptocurrency is what people believe in. In this case, Bitcoin is finite and decentralized and something that people don't have to worry about governments printing more and more money. People are really worried about federal overspending that's been going on decades and the inflation that engenders, unquote. The senator clearly face deep in Elon Musk's punch bowl. Meanwhile, Kendall Garrison, CEO of Amplify Credit Union, who probably knows a bit more about this stuff than the senator, notes the high risk and volatility that is inherent in cryptocurrency. He says of Bitcoin, quote, "It can go up very quickly and it can turn around and go down just as quickly, switching from the very safe investments that the state of Texas has today, like government bonds, index funds, hedge fund investments, to cryptocurrency is really increasing the risk in that portfolio," unquote, and still to some of us, obviously. Back to schools, where Governor Abbott has been continuing his tour of private Christian schools across Texas, getting those parents fired up about this taxpayer-funded rebate on their private parochial school tuition he's promised them. Camille Phillips at Texas Public Radio writes that the hard-right think tank, the Texas Public Policy Foundation, has been organizing these so-called parent empowerment nights. Monday, the governor was at San Antonio Christian School, which provides a great example of why the $10,000 of your tax dollars the governor wants to give parents for private school tuition won't work for most parents who consider private school out of their financial reach. Annual tuition at that school is $17,000, and that's before charges for things like uniforms and extracurricular stuff like sports and field trips. Wealthy families already in get a windfall. Families of more modest means, most of them anyway, remain shut out. If that weren't enough, Abbott used an opportunity before a sympathetic audience at this school to trash both Texas public school teachers and the trans community. Favorite punching bag of late for the right wing, Michael Carlos at the San Antonio Current says Abbott claimed before this audience, without offering any supporting evidence, of course, that Texas public school teachers have been forcing Texas school kids to become transgender against their will. How many of those in attendance actually bought this preposterous bullshit is unclear, but it's notable that nobody openly disagreed, including a gaggle of Republican state reps who are present, including House Speaker Dustin Burrows, who wouldn't be in that position without the help of the Democratic House minority. Carlos notes that there was a substantial anti-voucher demonstration happening outside the event, including former and we hope future Democratic candidates Laurel Swift and Dr. Kristen Hook, of whom we are super proud for staying in the fight. A troubling update on that outbreak of measles in West Texas is Gaines County, which has spread both to surrounding counties and across the western border into New Mexico. Aiden Runnels at the Texas Tribune says the official case count has risen to 58. Unsurprising considering the low rate of vaccination found in the area, but now including at least 4 cases among people who claim that they are vaccinated against measles. This outbreak is embarrassingly attracting international attention. The UK-based Independent and writer Julian Musto note that this is the worst outbreak of measles in the U.S. in over 30 years, that it's likely to continue spreading, and that the current count of cases is all but certain to be an undercount. Gaines County's population of 22,000 has one of the state's highest vaccine exemption rates, and the epicenter appears to be centered on private religious schools in the South Plains Public Health District. As conservative rural areas continue to embrace vaccine skepticism, it stands to reason that over time, more of them will become hotbeds for outbreaks of diseases that were once relegated to the dustbin of history by medical science. We reap what we sow. February is Black History Month, and Progress Texas Advocacy Associate Tatum Owens has put together a great essay on this year's celebration, including an extensive list of Black History Month events taking place across Texas. See also in the show notes a new listing of Black-owned businesses to support from the Austin American-Statesman. They're all over the place, including Houston, DeSoto, Fort Worth, Corpus Christi, El Paso, and more. Our funding here at Progress Texas is rarely sufficient for us to plan very far ahead, but the conservative disinformation machine we oppose has no such obstacle. They're funded by oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups. Our regular everyday listeners form a key component of our funding here at Progress Texas. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor. No amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks so much to Susan Lofton, Marvin Hecker, and Belinda Musgraves, all of whom are on the team. Appreciate all y'all very much. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.